Andrew McCart, IFL TV in association with MTK Global. You kept that a secret one, Eddie.
I know.
Yeah, I was with
do you
you
know
all
how hard it is for me to? I actually forgot to tell Adam Smith. He gave me a bollocking because I told the new head of Sky, and then I went to the press conference. We were going to announce it a little bit later that day, and then we ended up announcing it earlier. And I told the press guy to let Sky know, and then Adam's gone, this is unbelievable. How come you didn't tell me? I was like, shit. So apologies for that, but major moment for us. I like to keep those things quiet because it's very important for us to get it over the line. As always, a lot of people trying to get in the way and stop things from developing, and we've got our man back with Matchroom, and proud day. Great to be back in Leeds. You know, almost a bit shocked by the turnout because you sort of you forget what events like this are like in Leeds. I mean, a couple of hundred people just come to a little announcement that Josh is re-signing with Matchroom, which they already knew anyway because they saw it yesterday. So great to be back, big plans, and looking forward to the future.
I've got to say, in my interview with you yesterday, you did drop a couple of hints in. I should have really
Did I?
clicked. Yeah, you said something about the Newcastle crowd's like the same as Leeds crowd, and you compared Brits at Warrington.
Well, I've got to start bigging him up again.
Yeah, that's what
Do
I was.
you know what I mean?
When I watched the interview back, I was like, you were dropping subtle hints there. I was like, I didn't pick up on it. I mean, is this the prodigal son returning? I mean, were you obviously you had the big nights in Leeds, but the Ellen Road show was obviously with Frank.
Yeah, we built something really special with Josh. And when I say we built, I mean all the credit always has to go to the fighter. He's the one getting in the ring. He's the one delivering. You know, without his great performances, and let's be honest, when is Josh Warrington ever in a bad fight? Like, don't exist. So when you look at it like that, for us, I wouldn't say it was a kick in the nuts to watch him at Ellen Road and beat Carl Frampton. Pleased for him, but gutted that we weren't doing it. Now, when he was coming through, it was always, we'll get Ellen Road. And then basically, what happened was, it was stubbornness from myself because I wanted him to jump in and fight Selby. It was a bit of a wait, and he wanted a couple of other fights, and I just sort of probably threw my toys out the pram and went, all right then, don't worry about it. Next thing, obviously, signs with Frank, and you have to go through that process, and you sort of have to watch everything you've built sort of be someone else get the credit for, which he went on, and what he did under that period was sensational. They went to Ellen Road, he beat Lee Selby. I always felt that he could beat Lee, but I wasn't sure. The performance was great. Then he boxed Carl Frampton. I'm not sure he beats Carl Frampton. He beat him in a great fight, and went on from there, fought Kid Galahad, fought Takouch. And now it's time, it's time for the acid test. And that's what we'll be trying to do. He's got the unification fight, he's got Kid Galahad as mandatory again, he's got the American Knights in front of him. And we've got to deliver all of those. But priority is the unification fight, and here at Headingley. That's what we want to try and do.
Talking about these unifications, and I've seen Shakur Stevens already been on Twitter. He's mentioned it should get done now. He tweeted back saying ready. Is that the top of the list, Shakur Stevens?
Yeah, I think when you look at the division, you've got so many great people there to fight. I mean, Gary Russell Jr. sent me a message yesterday. Call me. I mean, what would you think that was about? We've got Shakur Stevenson, high profile. He's got Andre Ward, he's got Bob Arum, he's got Jay Prince. Then you've got Kanzu, which is probably the least high profile of the guys, but my God, Warrington against Kanzu would just be one you could have in a phone box. And you've got Leo Santa Cruz. So when you look at those, who are the guys that we could bring to Leeds? Kanzu, Gary Russell and Shakur Stevenson. Don't believe Santa Cruz would come, right? So bringing Shakur Stevenson, bringing those guys here for a unification fight would be a monstrous occasion. And that's what we'll be trying to do.
Kid Galahad final eliminator mandatory. That's not going to be a sticking point this year.
No, I mean he's mandatory now. So we've got a couple of weeks to decide what we're going to do. Josh, when we talked about that fight, obviously that was a little bit of a sour point as well because I've been sort of championing Kid Galahad, and I just said to him, look, you've got to fight Kid Galahad. But we know you want to unify, so if he unifies the division or asks for an exception, so be it. But the winner of that fight will have to fight Kid. So, and I said to Kid Galahad yesterday, he was joking with me on the phone saying, don't forget the number one featherweight is in the stable. He'll get his shot, and he's just come off a really good performance in Sheffield. If Josh boxes before he fights him, then Kid Galahad will also box before he fights him. But he's in a solid position for the world title. He's good as gold. But Josh understands if he has to fight Kid Galahad, so be it. But I want to unify. That is what I want to do, and you have to understand that as well. He boxed Kid Galahad 2 fights ago, very close fight. But the unification is what he wants. He wants to go and he's already the number one featherweight in the world. He wants to go down in history as a unified world champion. and that's what I'll be trying to deliver.
Talking about the fight here at Headingley Stadium, roughly a date when
We've got May, June, July. I think Josh would like to fight in May. We've got a lot of fights coming up in May, which we keep talking about in June. But this would be a big fight. And if we had to wait till June, even early July, it might not be the end of the world. But I think it's all about the fight. He wants to go to America. He wants to have that away day for his fans at Madison Square Garden or Vegas. That's another box to tick. But the first box to tick for me and for him is that unification fight. So that will take priority.
Conor Moretti said that he's got the number one, Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah.
It seems like this fight, the Shakur Stevenson now, because I know you've worked with Top Rank before, is it the easier fight to make out of all these champions?
Maybe. I think the thing is, we saw with the Lomachenko fight that we can run these fights and air them on ESPN in the States, which is an absolute necessity to Top Rank. They won't let us do this fight on DAZN, and they wouldn't let us do the Campbell fight on DAZN unless there was a purse bid, which there wouldn't have ended up being. So we understand the dynamics of the deal. I saw Bob's quotes last night on ESPN, which he said, I may be a crappy promoter in the US, but I'm a great promoter in the UK. So there was a backhanded compliment there somewhere. And the model's quite simple, is we own the international TV, he owns ESPN in America. And that ticks the boxes for Bob Arum, because right now, and we're in the same boat, it is very difficult to continue to pay these guys top money and give them all the activity you want. So that relieves a little bit of pressure from Bob, where I paid a bill, right? Like I did with Lomachenko. We lost a lot of money on a Lomachenko fight. But it's okay because we got Luke Campbell against Lomachenko in London, and here we could get Shakur Stevenson against Josh Warrington in Leeds. So when we talk about the American fight, I really feel that Josh is going to be hard to beat here. So if you've got the opportunity, if you've built the chance to bring big fights here because you're following, you've got to take advantage of that. So unification in Leeds is like the dream next task.
What to say, I was in Berlin when Josh fought in Berlin.
Mental.
Are you ready for these Leeds fans in America, New York, Vegas?
I remember.
Gonna fill a big bill?
So when we went to Berlin, we only gave him 600 tickets. They went like that, right? And that was really at the time where I was thinking, this kid is the new Ricky Hatton. It was an 8-rounder, right? And it was on at about 6 o'clock. And I said to everyone, let's meet in a pub. Anyone, just put a tweet out. My following weren't as big then on social media, so I just said, anyone fancies a pint will be in the so-and-so. Mate, there was about the whole 600 of them turned up. I bought everybody a pint, and we're all singing and dancing, and then we went to fight night. Oh, that was on the weigh-in day, sorry, on a Friday. Went to fight night, and I'm looking over, and Callie Sowland's going to me, what? And the beer's going in the air. They're like this. It's 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and Callie Sowland's going, what? And then like the security, everyone. They weren't causing any trouble, but they're just. That's them. The support is incredible. I have to build great TV. And when you've got fans like that in the arena, an atmosphere like that in the arena, it is a compelling watch. Even forget what's going on in the ring. The atmosphere comes out through the TV, and that's what we'd get at Headingley. But couple that with the best featherweight in the world, couple that with a great pound-for-pound fighter, couple that with a guy that is so entertaining to watch, you've got the ultimate package. And we're inheriting back, not a ticket seller, but a world champion, the number one featherweight in the world, one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in Britain, and a guy who is probably the biggest draw in British boxing outside of Anthony Joshua.
Safe to say you won't be sending that tweet out again if you do go to Vegas with these fans.
No, absolutely. If we went to Vegas, he could take anywhere between 10 and 20,000.
Will you be buying everyone a drink?
No, but I'll tell you what, it would be special. It would be special. But I just feel that the opportunity and the advantage to unifying Leeds is one that should be taken. So that's the first priority, and then we'll go from there.
Well, I won't keep you much longer, Eddie. I think I've had you on the channel, maybe.
I know, you're coming to Abernethy and Kelly tomorrow? You're coming down, are you? Good man.
I'm putting in the
Good
real
man.
miles.
I know, I was in Newcastle yesterday, Leeds today, London tomorrow.
Right, so
Getting a graft in, mate.
Definitely, I'm trying my best. Eddie,
Cheers, mate.
Rifle TV, and I'll catch up with you soon.
Yeah, okay.